Moody's ratings agency is warning that a planned judicial reform could seriously undermine Mexico's economic and fiscal credibility. The measure calls for judges at all levels to be elected by popular vote, and that, the agency says, could erode critical checks and balances. Mexico's states are expected to quickly ratify the measure, which is backed by outgoing President Andrés Manuel López Obrador's ruling party. Well, he says it's necessary to stamp out corruption, but protesters say it'll have the opposite effect.
Mexican protesters say justice should be blind, but they fear the newly passed reforms, which establish elections for judges, will make courts partisan and open to influence. Students and judicial workers are leading the demonstrations.
Because it goes against the checks and balances and judges' impartiality. The judge has no democratic role at all. That's what the legislators are for. They're supposed to be our representatives, although they have turned a deaf ear to our requests.
Opponents stormed the Senate as it voted on the law. They echoed concerns by human rights groups and the United States ambassador, who said Mexico's democracy was in danger. Even the Supreme Court's Chief Justice said elections would let criminals put pressure on judges. But senators relocated to another chamber to pass the law. It's one of the final acts of outgoing leftist President Andrés Manuel López Obrador, who says the world's first judicial elections will make courts accountable to the masses instead of financial elites.
Judges with honorable exceptions, magistrates and ministers are at the service of a predatory minority that has dedicated itself to plundering the country.
The president has his supporters who watched as the delayed vote passed at night.
We are supporting the reform because everyone who has approached the courts seeking justice has realized how rotten the judicial power is.
The changes must still pass Mexico's state legislatures, where the ruling Morena party is confident of victory, despite the waves of outrage on the streets.